Heads up, finance fanatics. The legendary Cathie Wood is stirring the crypto pot, and boy, it's boiling. Join us as we ride this raging monetary tidal wave.
Because the SEC is losing cases in court having to do with its regulations around crypto. That's the first thing. And there are bills that are making their way through the House and are seeing some bipartisan support.
Now, we're looking in the future. There's talk of a common clock where the SEC could approve a bunch of ETFs at once, putting you on a level playing field with BlackRock and others. What's your take on how this will play out, given you filed earlier?
I think you're probably right that August 13th will come and go, and I think the SEC, if it's going to approve a Bitcoin ETF, will approve more than one.
Cathie, crypto queen. Wood of Ark Invest is making waves. With a whopping $70 million in Bitcoin and price predictions that'll make your jaw drop, this financial maven sees the coin's future brighter than a supernova. And remember the SEC and FCC lurking around crypto's playground? Well, it seems the US might have switched teams, eyeing their own CBDC, with XRP showing the SEC who's boss. Crypto's future is looking like a roller coaster we all want a ticket for.
In June, when BlackRock announced its filing, or when it was announced that BlackRock had filed for a Bitcoin ETF, the Bitcoin price did shoot up, but has been fairly stable since then. So I do think it's had an impact. A bigger impact this year was the regional bank crisis. It was very interesting to watch Bitcoin go from 19,000 to 30,000 right in the middle of that banking crisis as regional banks were going bankrupt. So it was a flight to safety. So I thought that move was just as interesting.
Hang on, a flight to safety? Is buying Bitcoin somehow a flight to safety? Isn't it a little too volatile for that?
Well, if you think about it, Bitcoin serves as two kinds of hedges. One is a hedge against inflation and outright confiscation of wealth. The other is against counterparty risk. And, when the regional banks started going down, this fear sort of, our memories are fresh with 08, 09, the counterparty risk became real. And so there was this flight into Bitcoin, a completely decentralized, transparent network, which is not subject to counterparty risk.
Cathie, so you are in this race. Let's talk about the race a little bit. The first important deadline coming up is August 13th, where the Ark filing, the SEC is either going to delay it, which we think they'll probably delay it, and then BlackRock is later. You filed before BlackRock, but BlackRock came in with the surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase. That was novel, right? Now we're looking in the future. There's talk of a common clock where the SEC could approve a bunch of ETFs at once, putting you on a level playing field with BlackRock and others. What's your take on how this will play out, given you filed earlier?
I think you're probably right that August 13th will come and go, and I think the SEC, if it's going to approve a Bitcoin ETF, will approve more than one at once. So then, again, because most of these essentially will be the same, and it will come down to marketing, communicating the message. We've been putting out our Bitcoin monthly for the last year. We are now starting a Bitcoin brainstorming session. Our first one we launched last Thursday. So we're trying to get the word out there that our research is deep. And we've been doing it since 2015, when we gained our first exposure to GBTC. We were the first public asset manager to gain exposure to Bitcoin at all in 2015.
Hold on to your crypto cap. Imagine when giants like BlackRock and Invesco launch their Bitcoin ETF. We're talking tsunami waves of dollars surging into Bitcoin faster than you can say to the moon. Big names like Saylor and our crypto queen Cathie. See the Bitcoin beacon shining at the $1 million mark. As SEC chases Coinbase and Bittrex like a cat after laser pointers, XRP's triumph proves that cryptos are a whole new ballgame. Coinbase's bravery post-SEC threat? Well, no wonder Cathie can't stop raving about them.
We think that it is the most regulatory compliant exchange out there, and we've been very pleased with how its derivatives exchange in Bermuda has ramped in here. It's very early days, but again, clearly a trusted partner, and we are also seeing that there's more turmoil out there, I guess. Hubei, I think that's how you say the name of the exchange, and Tether and Binance. There are rumblings out there that not is all is well, and so Coinbase is going to be the flight to safety exchange, no doubt about it.
And do you think the surveillance agreements with Coinbase are going to be enough to deal with things like price manipulation in this market? I mean, that's been one of the main concerns from the SEC lawyers with whom we've spoken.
Well, what I find so interesting still, and this is why we believe that the SEC will lose the grayscale case, how can you approve a Bitcoin futures ETF and not a Bitcoin ETF? And in fact, if you're really thinking about consumer protection, a futures ETF is swap space. So there's counterparty risk there that you would not have with a Bitcoin ETF, which is backed one-to-one with Bitcoin in Coinbase's cold storage. It still confounds me.
But wait, there's more to this crypto craze. Exchanges like Coinbase are leaping ahead thanks to trusty blockchains. While traditional systems may face roadblocks, decentralized structures of crypto are like a maze for global regulators. Why is the SEC playing coy with big banks like JP Morgan and Goldman? Something smells fishy. With crypto evolution outpacing regulators and heavy hitters like Tesla and PayPal stepping in, it's clear crypto's here to party and it's only getting started.
And we do think the cycle for autos is going to get tougher in here generally. But we think just like last year when electric vehicles were up 69% or 65%, something like that, and gas-powered vehicles down 7% globally, we think we're going to continue to see that share shift accelerate because electric vehicle prices are going to follow their costs down in a way that gas-powered cars cannot. So we think that electric vehicles will be less expensive, and they are better cars than gas-powered vehicles. So we think they're going to take tremendous share. And even if the auto market relapses in here, which we think it could, we don't think electric vehicles will relapse. So we think the 1.8 million for this year, which was Elon said 1.8 to 2 million, they're going to have some shutdowns in the third quarter for maintenance and upgrades, and so he lowered his expectation to the lower end of that range. I think he likes to lower expectations and then beat, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher. The engineers are very smart. They are engineering cobalt out of the cars. They're doing it for a few reasons. The supply is uncertain, and it's very focused in I guess the Congo, where there are a lot of environmental and governance and social concerns. So they're engineering it out, and they're moving into, and you should say, on lithium, actually, if you look at the price, it went up tenfold in 2 years, and now it's down about 40% from that peak. I think lithium is one of the most pervasive minerals out there. So we don't think lithium is an issue at all.
Revving up our chat, Tesla's joining the rally too. Financial gurus are all geared up for the EV giant to supercharge into new highs. Who knew electric vehicles and crypto would be the dynamic duo of the decade? Bitcoin's buzz never stops. Got a forecast? Share it below. And if you're game for another crypto cruise, give us a like and jump on board by subscribing. See you next time.